Hello, YouTube family. Well, I've been up all day. I was going to take a nap, but I didn't do it. I had my nurse come by today. She'll be back tomorrow. And I have an appointment with the VA doctor next Thursday at 9 a.m. And when I went to the doctor 3 weeks ago yesterday, she was supposed to renew all my prescriptions and everything, and I'm running out of meds. She didn't get it done because she sent me to the hospital. But I don't know I don't know how close I am to running out. I know I've got about, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 days worth in here. So I hadn't looked at the other. These are the ones I put in here before I went to the hospital. But you know, this last stint has put me thinking about a lot of different things. One of the nurses, she was a white nurse. And, well, not really. I don't know what you would call her. She's from Puerto Rico. But she's, you know, dark colored a little bit. So, and she was asking about my family and stuff, and I told her, you know, I had 3 grandsons, and they were biracial or mixed. And I told her about the story about when Jennifer come home at age 20 from school, college. Well, it wasn't really college, it was job, I think you call it Job Corps. And in my opinion, Job Corps is not worth a teetotally damn. That they try to teach them stuff, but it don't work. And I forget what Jennifer took in there, but it's not what she's doing now. But she come home pregnant. I wasn't too bent out of shape. But she was in her bedroom, and I walked to the door there, and I said, well, who's the father? And she gave me this name, Pete Hobby. And then she mentioned that he was black. That set me up. I mean, I was pissed. I'm like, pitched a fit right there in the door. And I beat a hole with my fist in the wall right beside the door. I mean, I crushed it. And I informed her right then and there. Of course, she didn't have to do what I said. She was 20 years old. And I informed her right then and there, you're getting a damn abortion. And I can't remember. I said, I ain't going to have no, I don't know if I said black children or N-word children. I don't remember. And I raised hell for about a week. And then I found out her and my wife was going to go to this abortion clinic in town and have the baby aborted. And buddy, I pitched another fit. Informed them they ain't aborting no grandchild of mine. Of course, they could have done it whether I wanted them to or not. And I remember them saying, well, you said you wanted to have an abortion. Well, I was puzzled then. It really blew me out of the water that it was a black child. And it even blew me further out of the water when I found out that it was going to actually abort it. I still ain't been able to figure that out, but I don't know. You know, you're raised up in racist families, and I was taught they're no good, you can't trust them, and just a whole line of stuff. And that they don't have good sense about anything, or stuff like that. And as a kid, you pretty much believe what your parents tell you, or in this case, it wasn't so much my parents as it was my aunts and uncles and some of my cousins. You're taught that stuff from early on. And it's still, the stuff that I was raised like, it's still in my brain. It's still back there. And there's nothing like, I was taught that as a kid. I didn't teach my kids. I was always pretty liberal about black folks when they were raising up, and my son, when he was about 13, we'd be driving somewhere, and every time they happened to see a black person, or he did, he would pick his finger up like a gun and go, phew, and he'd keep score of how many he shot. So I don't know where he got that from, but I chewed him out about it. He didn't do it no more. But when he found out his sister was real friendly with the black students, he didn't like it. I don't know where he got that, because I didn't teach that. But the racist thing was still in my mind, you know. I still thought they were inferior. Did I tell y'all one time there's some railroad tracks pretty close to where we lived in Jacksonville when I was about 14. And on the other side of the tracks was the section where the black people lived. And we'd be standing on either side of the track. We'd be on the white side, there'd be black kids on the black side, throwing rocks at each other. Of course, we never hit nobody. Till one day, I threw a rock and it hit this boy in the face, cut him. And I was juvenile. Charges was brought against me for something. I forget what to call it. And in court, the judge was chewing me out, you know, and I'm for throwing that rock, hit him, and I'm like, well, he was throwing rocks at me, you know, and it ain't my fault that he didn't duck or something like that. And he was still chewing me out, and I said, well, sir, he was just an N-word. I'm not going to say the word because I think it might go against the video or something. But I said, he was just an N-word, you know. I couldn't understand why he was raking me over the coals for throwing that rock and hitting him, especially since we're both doing the same thing. But in the end, he brought that boy up there and he asked him, were you trying to hit the defendant? And he said, well, he was trying to hit me. But I can't believe I said it's just an N-word. I still can't believe it to this day. But I got off, I was put on some kind of probation. And they told that other guy, the black guy, you know, and his friends, if y'all get caught out there again throwing rocks at each other, you're all going down to juvenile. But I can't believe I said that. But when I found out she was going to have an abortion, I was so ticked off. I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't understand why I was pitching such a brouhaha when they were going to get an abortion, because that's what I told them. But I'm so glad that never happened. It just, they're people. They're humans. The Oriental people and stuff, you know, the Asian people, they're people. They're human. And there's bad ones in every race. There really is. I'm still puzzled by, you know, Morgan Freeman, you know, he's an actor. He said something one time. They was interviewing about something, and they asked him some kind of a race question. And he told whoever the interviewer was, I can't remember, said, if you stop calling me a black person, I'll stop calling you a white person. I'll call you whoever you are. but it's not black, white, yellow, red, any of that. And that's stuck in my mind. I don't think that it's ever going to come to an end as long as we're calling them Japs or Chinks or the N-word. It's not going to end. In the end, it might fade away because it's just a big melting pot and the races are blending now. When I was growing up, after World War II and everything, I was taught to hate Germans because of the war, and I was taught to hate Japanese because of the war. And if I did something wrong, my mom would say, if you don't stop, Hitler's going to get you. Well, Hitler was a bad person, but that didn't make all Germans bad. I had some very good friends in Germany when I was over there. I've even got a couple of Japanese friends. But my uncles, if they could, they'd roll in their graves, especially the ones that was in World War II, if I even said that. It bothers me that it's still in the back of my head somewhere. I guess it's in the back. It's in there somewhere. I haven't forgot it. And me and my sister, we used to sit on the kitchen counter in Norfolk, Virginia. And the man that delivered ice, we had an ice box. You didn't have a refrigerator. And every couple of days you had to buy a block of ice put up on the top of that thing so stuff would stay cold in the bottom. And the iceman was black. And sometimes he'd drop a block of ice or something by accident and it'd break up. And he'd cuss. And they had this accent, this black dialect. And me and my sister sometimes sitting there seeing who could cuss so much like the ice bed. I guess we was really making fun of him. But we sure liked it when he drove up in a wagon with a mule pulling it with big blocks of ice in there. And he'd chip off whatever you needed. Like if you needed 100 pounds, you'd get a 100-pound block, or 25 pounds. And there's always little slivers of ice. And we'd chase after his wagon to see if he'd give us a little sliver of ice. And we liked the guy. We liked him. That raised us, especially in my family with some of my aunts. Well, let's see. I know Rosa May was, Aunt Rosa May, and I loved her dearly. Uncle Jack was, Uncle Aubrey was, Ann was, and her husband, Uncle Kenneth, they were. And they used to fuss at me when I'd be staying on the farm with them. And there was this black family that was sharecroppers on my uncle's land. And he had a pretty big family, and I used to go over there and hang out with the kids And I even had a crush on the one girl that was there. She's black. And I even got a crush on that girl. And somebody mentioned that to my aunt. My Uncle Maynard, he didn't say anything to me about it. But Aunt Rosa May did when she found out. And she just going on, I'm going to stop this stuff and stuff like that, you know. The girl's name was Sister, I think. Was it Sister? Yeah, it was Sister. That was her actual name. But my history, I was kind of on the fence about the whole mess all my life. And when I joined the Army, that's when I got my comeuppance about it. Because most of the battalion I was in was about 50% black, 50% white. And I got my comeuppance in. Little black dude beat the shit out of me. He seen me down the hall and he thought he knew me. And he run up there hollering and he grabbed me and was hugging me. And boy, I got him in an arm lock and I still got I gotta cut them things off. And I punched him on the side of the head. And and as quick as I hit it, it broke a bone in my hand. His name was Donald Patterson. We've become good friends after that. But my first thought was, ain't no inman gonna be hugging me, you know. And there you go. That shit in my head. It really needs to stop. It really does. I wished I could get it. I don't know what made me different than the rest of my family. And even in my wife's family, my in-laws, they got one brother-in-law. His actual name was Cecil Shields. But the only name I ever knew him by for a lot of years was Nig. And you think about what the rest of that word was, but that's not, I just said Nig. And I said, why did y'all start calling him that? Because he started looking like an in person. So that's pretty daggone racist, I think. You know, and if you take a picture of you, I had some pictures of my kids one time eating watermelon, and they was holding, and I took a picture and I was showing it to somebody, and it was Turk, the oldest brother-in-law. And he said, but they look like two little in-persons because it's holding that watermelon up and eating it. I was pretty upset about that. But he was the biggest racist in that family. But after Jonathan was born, a lot of that died away. Except I had another brother-in-law, Steve, the youngest one. he said, well, you can come visit, you know. He said, and he's talking about Donovan, said he can't help what he is. Well, that's pretty damn racist. He can't help what he is. And I said, see, you can't help what you are. And he said, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, just think about it. Anyhow, what was the topic I was even talking about? I get off on a rant sometimes about stuff and I can't remember what I'm talking about. But I'm so thankful for Donovan. He was just in here to see if I was ready to go to bed. He was going to help me get into bed if I had trouble. He fixed something, he brings it in here to me to eat. When my nurse was here this morning, she said, you need to make an appointment to see that VA doctor as soon as you can. Well, Donovan, I seen him get up and he went in his mama's bedroom. And didn't know it at the time, but he was in there calling the VA and made that appointment for next Thursday. That was as quick as soon as we could get it. And he did that. He's 34, but you know, the fact that he's got cerebral palsy and everything, I don't think there's a lot he can do, but he's doing a whole lot more than I thought he would ever do. And I can't sign in my name anymore because my left-handed and my finger is stiff. And that was a MRSA infection there, and this is a MRSA infection I had in my foot. Anyway, there's a picture, there's a little clip on this video about that nurse that was here today. She had a place on her arm. It looked like road rash, like where she fell and skinned her arm bad or something. And I said, is that some kind of a rash or something? And she said, oh no, that's just a birthmark. And I said, well, that's the strangest birthmark I've ever seen. So I made it, she told me I could make a video of her arm, and I did, so it'll be in this video. I'll probably put it at the back and the front, because sometimes some people don't look at these videos all the way through. But yeah, I'm doing okay, but I'm a little bit shaky. But I was able to go to the bathroom on my own and everything today. So, that's my first video, and I probably ranting on more than I was thinking about, but I'm gonna try to get out tomorrow after the nurse runs. But see, I can't get a shoe on this foot. I can get I've got these kind of shoes here. See, it ain't got much heel back here, so thinking it would be easy for me to get it on that foot, but my foot's it's all bandaged up. And so that's the problem. So I've got a bandage. The bandage my foot is completely wrapped up except for the toes. And they have to change the bandage every day. They're going to come every other day, but the day in between, Jennifer's going to have to do it. But anyhow, folks, I appreciate y'all so much. I need to get more active. I need to be standing up more. And The heel still hurts a little bit, but it's a neuropathy. It's not the heel infection. But, by the way, when you look at this video of that nurse's arm, tell me what the strangest birthmark you've ever seen. I thought the strangest one I ever seen was one my sister's got right above her butt crack. When she was little, Mama used to make her pull her britches down and show everybody that birthmark. Mama had one on her back. I got one on my side, but it's faded away. And Donovan's got some. I think Joey's got some too. I don't know if Jennifer has or not. I don't think so. But anyhow, that's my story, folks, and I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one. See ya. GoPro, stop recording. There we go. All right, folks, look here what. This is my caseworker for my home care nurse. Have you ever seen a birthmark like that? That's crazy. But there it is. A birthmark. It's a bunch of freckles. I guess. I don't know. But she gave me permission to take this photo. So there you go. GoPro, stop recording.